excited?
Yes.
Are we waiting? Do we need more coffee? Okay, so we're gonna get into a lot of information. Okay? What you do is let's just go to Animoto. I'll put it right here so you guys can see. When you're going to search, if you notice at the top it says iPad or iPhone apps at the top. Do you see that? Always check both because there's certain ones that were built for the iPhone, but they can still be used on your iPad. So just tap that button on top and you'll find Animoto, and Genius Scan is another one that is actually built for the iPhone. So those are located at. So right now it says iPad apps, there's none, but when I click iPhone, there it is. So if you guys see that, so always check both of those before you start realizing that you need to run.
Oh, I want to fan in.
So now that I've selected print to PDF, it creates all those listings in a PDF format for me. And that's the thing, the iPad works with PDF. So here I am, I have all 14, it says 1 of 14. So what I'm going to do is if I tap it, it's going to say open in. So whatever apps allow you to transfer PDFs are going to be there. So when I tap that, it's going to say open in. And here's my PDF expert. So I'm going to tell it to go there. And now my listings are in PDF expert.
So you can print to PDF because you have the PDF converter though, the $6.99.
No, you do not need a PDF converter. It converts it through the MLS. That print to PDF does that through the other PDF converter is for something completely different. Yeah. So the MLS does it for you, so you don't have to pay extra for that. You know what? I'll show you how to get around that because I know yours is different. Yours is the MLS.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so we still need the $7 app of PDF.
You do not, and I'll show you. That you need to file. Now, I'll be very honest with you. Before the iPad, my desk did look like that, but I knew where everything was. So it was okay. But I'll tell you, on the iPad, you can't do that because you'll lose it and you're not going to know where it's at. So with this, it's taught me how to be a lot more organized and more proficient. So it's important that if you're already an organized person, good for you because you're going to love this. If you're not, you're going to fight with yourself for a little bit. But after you start searching through stuff, you're going to start doing it right. So here's my agent one page. And again, if I show this person 15 times, I don't want it to be named agent one page every time because again, you want to make it so you can find it if you need it. So if I simply tap on the name, it'll allow me to rename it. Okay, so always rename your file if it's not named what you want it to be named. So I'm going to backspace and I will type showings and then the date that I plan to show this person. And then once I'm done, I'll select done. So now it's named showings on the date that I'm going to plan to do that. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in that person's file. So I'm going to drag it. All you do is tap on it and you drag it. I'm putting it into my active buyers. Now it's in my active buyers, and now again, let's say I have 15 active buyers. So make sure you file it into the right active buyer. So we're talking about Mrs. Buyer today. So I'm going to tap it again and place it in her folder. So now it's in her folder. So when I open up her folder, there it is, just like that. Okay? So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ask her loan officer to send me her pre-approval, her proof of funds and all that good stuff, because obviously you don't want to be wasting your time if they don't qualify. So, but for the most part, that will be emailed to you, correct?
Yes.
So if that's emailed to you, let's just say, let me pretend that this is a sample here of a pre-qual sample. Okay, here we go. So here's just a sample. Once I receive it from the loan officer, I will, again, where it has the arrow out, I'll arrow out, and again, that's what you're going to, anytime you get a PDF, just look for the arrow out or open in. It's going to be one of the two, and I'm going to send it to PDF Expert again. So I did the same thing. Now, do you notice that it's not, it's rotated wrong?
Mm-hmm.
So you can change it. So what you're gonna do if this happens is there's a 4 square here at the top. Okay, so this is to rotate. 4 square. And then you're gonna select edit at the right corner. And then you're gonna select whichever pages you want. In this case, it's all of them, so you're gonna select all. Or you can select individually. And then there's rotate. And I'll tell you another thing is, as fast as the properties are selling, it's done. So, you know, you don't wanna waste time, because, you know, our time is money. So, if I go to the cover sheet, I'm gonna select edit. And then you're gonna input the buyer's information. Always use your cover sheet, it's just so much better. So I'll put Mrs. Buyer. And then I'm gonna come down here. Does everybody know how to use this? Or does I look foreign to everybody? Right, everybody's familiar with this, right?
Yes.
Okay, good, perfect. And so then I'll just put the property address. So fill it out as much as you can. Purchase date and agreement. Okay. So now, once I've done that, you're gonna wanna save it, make sure you save, and it'll tell you, wait, while changes are being saved, and then it'll tell you that they've been saved. So, once you've done that, you're gonna hit that back button, and then you're gonna go to residential purchase agreement, and then you're gonna select edit, just to make sure that everything's, you know, the way you want it to be. So everything should be the way you want it to be. Make sure, you know, all your items are checked, you know, whatever your loan amount's gonna be. Just make sure, like I said, everything, you know, all the boxes are checked the way you want them to be. Here, if you notice, like I said, I didn't check anything. Everything's already checked for me because of my template. And here also, the short sale addendum is already checked for me. And everything's already filled out, so here, everything's already filled out, all my information, so I don't, again, have to do it every single time. So once you verify that, you can tap on the dates and put the date in there. It makes it easier for the signing, you know, date everything by tapping it. And then you're gonna select save. Once you're done, and you're gonna go into each form and just date them. It just makes it easier when they sign. It makes it, you know, so they can sign it really easy.
For the client,
Yeah.
Carr said that they have to sign it by themselves, otherwise it can't be held up in court.
Well, I mean, they're in front of you, so, well, I guess you choose to do it however you want. So what you're gonna do is, after you went through each of your forms that you're gonna have them sign, now there's different ways of signing. Now this is where it can get confusing and a little bit hectic if you don't really take the time to practice. So once I'm here, I can choose to do A, sign with them through the zip, which here at the top it says signatures. Do you see that? And this is only on the iPad or on a tablet. It's not gonna be on the desktop. You won't see this. So you're gonna see signatures. Now, at the bottom it says sign with touch sign. The other ones, the Zip Logic, those you have to pay for. So I don't recommend those because those are actually electronic signatures, and I know some people accept them, some people don't, but why go through it? Just do it this way. It's because then you don't want to have them re-sign it, or if the agent's just being the agent they want to be and they just don't want it, then guess what? You're not going to, you know what I'm saying? Don't, just make it easy for yourself. I've had people, you know, send, you know, California law, this, that, you know, just, you're already showing me the kind of person you're gonna be. I don't wanna work with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, you know, thanks. Thanks for the heads up, right? So, sign with touch and sign. And once you do that, it's going to bring it up here. And this is what it looks like. So if you notice, it has all the documents that were there, that were, in your library. So right here it says sign, and it says no all the way down. So you're gonna select the forms that you wanna sign. So if I'm gonna select residential purchase agreement, short sale addendum, disclosure regarding agency, let's just say these are the only ones I wanna sign, then I'm gonna select next. And it's validating the forms. And once I'm here, you need to add your signers into your address book because they legally get a copy as soon as they're done signing, and that's the purpose of it. So if they're in there already because you signed with them, you can just select add, otherwise you need to add them here because you can't move forward until you do that. So I'm just gonna select add, and I will, I'll go to my address book, and I'll find a buyer. And always check yourself as well because you need to sign the contract as well. So here's my buyer, and then this is me. So then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a touch sign. So now that I'm here, my client has the right to review that, read that. They can get an email copy of them consenting to signing electronically, and then they have to agree. Don't agree for them, okay? Let them agree for it. And so once you do that, this is what your form looks like. So what you're going to do is if you tap the pin up top, it's going to bring down where you sign. Okay, so you can use a pen or you can use your finger, whichever. So I'm going to sign buyer, just, buyer. And once I sign that, it doesn't really look that bad. So let me just, if I wanted to, I could, like I said, do it with my finger. Look at this, is so much better. And then what I'll do is go to initials. If you do it right, they only need to sign once and initial once. So that's the nice thing about it. But you got to make sure you do it right. Okay, so initials. And I know you're like, but how do I do it right? Right? Well, you have to make sure that you go through every form and put their signature before having the next buyer sign if you have another buyer. If you only have one buyer, you'll always do it right. A lot of people don't treat it as such, but it really is. So they need to understand what it is they're signing. Now, some people, once they've signed one or two, they're over it, right? They're like, just submit it, just submit it, just submit it. So if that becomes the case, for the most part, most of my clients have either an iPhone or an Android or a tablet. So that's the first thing I look at when I meet them. If I see they have an iPhone or they have an Android, then I will actually show them how to download a couple apps so that way if I email them, they can sign it and send it back to me no matter where they're at and no matter where I'm at. So there's no, I have to print it, I'm going to I'll meet you or I'll send it to you and my husband's signature. There's no time, there's no lapse in that any longer. So after I've signed a few offers with them, I don't even sign sometimes on my iPad. I'll just email them the offer right then and there, and they'll go in their cars and sign it really quick and send it right back to me. So again, I'm not sure they already know where their initials go. They already know it, inside and out. But if it's your first time and you're still sitting there, like I said, with them, I'm going to cancel this because let's pretend that this just wasn't going to load up for you. So if I go back to here I am. If I just click on this particular document, there's an option for view. Okay, so when I select view, what that does for me is it creates it in PDF. So again, that allows us to do the signing on it. So now that it's in PDF, you can choose to do different things. Now, I know a lot of people say that, it's not legal to sign on certain things. It's, it's not, but if you're sending it to your client and they're signing it and they're sending it back to you, that's because they're saying that they can send it